Spring has officially sprung. It's amazing out here. I'm Gavin Seim. Welcome to the Exposed series. Exposure is a process. It's something that we take from start to finish, from the moment we start looking at a scene and deciding how we're going to photograph it, to the moment that we have that finished image that's ready to go to print or to wherever. And it's more than just saying, oh, where do I put the dial? You know, how am I going to set for how much light's going to come in? You know, you can go around and go click, 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 and you know the meter may say, based on what it sees, oh yeah, your exposure's right. You know, right technically, but it's really not right technically unless it matches what you intended, unless it matches your visualization. Exposure is not an absolute for every scene or for every person. It depends entirely on what you're trying to do with it. And that's what we're going to do in this series, along with understanding, you know, the concepts of exposure and what all this stuff means in the real world, out in the field, what the numbers mean, different things like that. We're going to dig in and we're going to understand how to manage light, how to manage exposure the way we want it, how to make the light work for us. From in the camera, visualizing, seeing the light, considering the dynamic range, considering what we have to work with, working with zone systems, to making the exposure, carrying that all the way through to working with details, to doing modern post-production techniques and burning and dodging and layers, and whatever we might need to do to manage that exposure and make everything work exactly the way we want. That's what the Exposed series is all about. So in the next few hours, we're going to go through all these techniques. You're going to be able to come back and be able to review them as needed. And we're going to look at exposure from start to finish and pretty much every way that it relates to us as a photographer in managing the tone and the light on every subtle detail in our images to make it work exactly the way we want. So I'm Gavin Seim. This is Exposed. Let's head over, let's get started. We're going to be roaming around the country. We're going to be back in the studio. We're going to be all over the place looking at images, looking out in the field, looking at techniques and different light and all kinds of stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's get started.